In today's video, I'm gonna explain why you just started cutting and you look terrible, flat, and feel weak. It starts right now. Hey guys, this is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, I'm gonna address the issue of when we get into a fat loss phase, why we might have an appearance initially, especially that's worse. Performance might drop, you feel a little skinny, a little deflated. And today's question comes from my Instagram direct message. So you guys are sending great questions. I'm trying to keep up. We've got this transformation challenge starting in a couple weeks. Everyone's getting registered for it. My clients are kicking off contest prep, so I apologize if I don't get to all of them, but I'm working on getting more efficient. Now, what I'd like to talk about with you is a question that I got on my Instagram direct message. But before I get to the question, hit subscribe. You guys, you've been subscribing all week. I really appreciate it. If you watched more than a couple of videos, you know, it's almost New Year. Make my day. Get me some subscribers. So what we're going to talk about today is this question. I'm going to read it to you, then we're going to discuss it. I've got a question that I really hope you'll be able to answer. I'm currently on the third week of my cut with a 500 calorie deficit, maintaining my strength so far, and have already lost about 5 pounds. My question is, why am I looking so flat and small? Is it true that this is caused by the depletion of glycogen and water weight? I'm finding it very discouraging to have shrunk up so soon and have truly thought about quitting this cut because of this. I expect my fullness to return at the end of the cut when I start introducing more calories and carbs. All right, guys, so this is something that I commonly see with people that start a fat loss phase, and they start it in a rather aggressive manner. And it's very easy to get caught up in this idea that carbohydrates are the enemy of fat loss, right? We hear this all the time. Fat is stored when you eat carbohydrates because of insulin. This is completely false, okay? Carbohydrates actually help increase how much fat we burn, okay? They are the primary fuel source for the muscles in our body. By eliminating all the carbohydrates, what you're gonna have is the glycogen that leaves your body, okay? It stores water in your muscles. That's where volume comes from in your muscles, and that's why you look flat and stringy. So depending on how much carbohydrates you dropped, you're likely so depleted of carbohydrates that, well, you're gonna look flat. Now, it's pretty normal to look a little less flat in the gym. This is why once my clients or the people that I work with, their carbohydrates start to get to a certain level, what I typically do is add in a higher carb refeed day. And I have lots of videos on this, but what I'll typically do is I might lower protein by 10, 20%, I might lower fat by 5 or 10%, and I might increase carbohydrates by 50 to sometimes even 100%. So if someone's on, say, 100 carbs a day, a refeed day might be 150 to 200 carbs. If they're on 200 a day, it might be, 250 to 400. So depending on the athlete, depending on how they respond to carbohydrates, understanding that insulin is also responsible for other things, such as shuttling nutrients to our muscles. So you don't want to demonize carbohydrates because it gets in your head and you think, oh, I'm not able to lose body fat, okay? Fat, when you eat fat, nutritional fat, that does not require insulin to be stored as fat. It just goes directly to our fat cells in abundance, okay? So I like the idea of reducing macronutrients in a balanced approach, okay? Carbs, not the enemy. Fats, not the enemy. Protein, certainly not the enemy. And if you do things properly, you can get the appropriate amount of carbohydrates. Now, I think a great place to start for someone who has no idea is, obviously I tell everybody, just track your carbohydrates for a couple days or a week and see where they're at. But let's say I'm a at this point, 230, 220 pound guy. I like my carbohydrates to match my weight. Once my carbohydrates get to about half of my weight, meaning once they get down to 110, 120, that's low for me. If I do that for a couple days in a row and I'm training and I'm doing cardio, I'm gonna be depleted. I'm going to need a refeed day, okay? So the point is, it's likely that you have just pulled out so many carbohydrates that you are going to be completely flat. So what I would suggest is not having a cheat day, not having a free day, but tracking it, okay? You said you're in a 500 caloric deficit. One day a week, go back up to maintenance. Add those 500 calories in, but do it in the form of carbohydrates. If you're at a 500 calorie deficit, that's 125 grams of carbs. That's a lot of carbohydrates to have in one day. You keep your protein, keep your fat the same, you bump up those carbs, and you're gonna see a fantastic benefit of muscle fullness. You can do this once a week, you can do it once every 3 or 4 days. It's gonna help with your energy. It's gonna help with your performance at the gym. Remember, fat loss is not just about the numbers. It's not just about what you eat and what you do. It's about the psychology. Getting lean is very difficult mentally. When you see yourself looking worse for a few weeks, it can be tough, okay? There is a period of time where you're going to look a little bit worse. You're not as big as you were, but you're not yet lean. You fight through that, and then on the other side of it is when you start to see veins and lines. You're gonna see me transform, guys. You're gonna see these kind of soft, round things start to have striations in them, right? You're gonna see veins. And it's not that I've made some amazing transformation where I put on a ton of muscle. It's gonna look like I did, but what it is there's this layer of fat between my skin over my muscles. And when I get rid of that fat, there's gonna be this illusion. Now, I also wanna say a thank you to this company, TLF, Take Life Further. They sponsor a couple of my athletes, and they sent me some clothes. And not sponsored, just sent me some clothes for free out of the kindness of their heart. And I gotta say, I'm a fan. I'm not usually like a sleeveless kind of guy, but I had shoulders and arms today, and you know, I'm kind of feeling it. I felt myself in the gym today, so thank you to TLF. But guys, the big picture here, fat loss is hard. Not just because we're losing weight and it's tough to be hungry, but because the psychology of fat loss means we're not gonna look our best all the time. But I promise you, once the fat is off, you can eat more and keep the body fat off. And that's what I'm gonna show you guys how to do this year. I'm gonna do the transformation challenge with you. It's open worldwide. Registration is open now. The official start date is the 15th, so you're gonna get a thing to take your pictures with. All the instructions are in there. We're gonna send you nutrition plans, training plans. I'm so excited about doing this with you guys. But if you're struggling with these kind of things, that's what we're gonna go over in the group. I'm gonna be answering questions myself. We have a team of 22 coaches. We've also gonna be doing live videos every week. So we're really gonna be hands-on, and the people in the groups, we have the past winners joining. They're gonna be able to give you guys some great advice as well. So, all right guys. Hope you guys are having an awesome Thursday. It's almost 2022. Let's freaking go. It's gonna be a great year.